If this is the goal and this is the thing you want to do, you're going to go in and put in your 110%. Even you fail, you're going to get back up and do it again.
Social and communication skills, being innovative, find 1,000 ways to solve it, or open up for possibilities. And the last one is don't give up.
It's okay to be a woman, to be feminine, but when you come together and be a strong wave, you hit hard and things will break,
Hi, welcome to Meet the One show. Now, this show is to inspire young adults and teenagers to start their business early. So every show, we will get children to ask questions to entrepreneurs that we've invited, and they will get their questions answered, and not only that, they get to gain insights in terms of how to run a business. Today, we have a special guest. She's Mei Tan, and I always call her the Wonder Woman. She's currently running 3 businesses. One is a family business, and the other 2, I'll let her talk about her business. Through the family business network that I've joined, so far I've learned a lot through some seminars, workshops, and also conference that Mei has organized. But today we have a lot of interesting questions regarding women entrepreneur, how should they juggle with their family. We should let our children ask all those interesting questions. But before that, we will invite Mei to share what are your businesses, term entrepreneur, like how do you define entrepreneur? Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, thanks Wuan Xin for inviting me. Hopefully I can inspire and give some insight to them as well. Hi, I'm Mei Tan, COO and Director of Asia Green Group, a property developer company based in Penang, Malaysia. So I also founded 2 businesses. One is Innovatif Plus, is a platform for next generation family business leaders to get together, to network, to learn from each other, and to share resources, and hopefully make great impact. And also the last one is Scoopoint. It was a co-working space, and then now is a online platform for branding and also designing consultation. Very grateful to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think you just mentioned about the definition
Yeah, the
entrepreneur.
definition
I think entrepreneur and businessman or businesswoman is slightly different. I think last time, we heard a lot of business women or businessmen. But this day, suddenly everyone become entrepreneur.
Yeah, and there's no female or male kind of distinction.
Yes. Last time, everyone have the idea about businessmen, but hardly people even mention businesswomen, right? So I think entrepreneur in general is no longer just about doing business, but it's about you doing business with a greater impact or a greater way to solve problems. I think that's why the entrepreneur terms is defined, and it's slightly different than just businessman this day. I think being an entrepreneur, we have a bigger responsibility besides just earning money or running a business. There are so much more. We have to be much more careful and involved.
I think since we're on this topic, when you say about bigger responsibility, what do you mean by being an entrepreneur is not just earning money? What is that bigger responsibility? What exactly is that?
Of course, entrepreneur is to have business involved, and business involvement also means that you definitely have certain
money
income.
transaction. Yes.
Exactly. When you are entrepreneur, you're here to solve certain problems. You have seen certain problems in your life or in society that you are here now coming out with a solution that provide for your customer or any of your audiences to solve that particular problems that people are willing to buy, but at the same time you are hoping to improve something.
Just pick one of your business. What kind of problems are you solving? Yeah, let's deep dive into that.
All right, so you can pick one of my most passionate would be in Innovatif Plus.
Okay.
I'm come from a family business background. So as a next generation, we have a lot of challenges, and sometimes it's really hard to even share that out or even find resources, right? So I think it's very important to create this platform where all the like-minded and also same challenges background that we came from and learn from each other.
What kind of challenges do you see? That's why that makes you want to set up Innovatif Plus.
There's a lot of challenges. I can just name few, right? So number one, we are talking about the expectation from the parent, because the family itself is have a different structure. Business itself has different structure, but when you combine both together, that's where interesting things are happening, right? There's a lot of gray lines in between when it comes to family and business combined. So, so the expectation of you being the someone else's daughter or someone else's son, right, is different than they being professionally addressed. Secondly, it's also as a NextGen, we hold a lot of responsibility. We feel like we want to contribute back to the family business because it's family. We value that family. We want to be part of it. But with that also come with a lot of stress, a lot of mental health issue that we are unable to talk to our parents about. And at the same time, if it's so much expectation, so much responsibility, and you have no way to have support system, you will go actually crazy.
It's like I can't share my information back to my family, and I can't talk about too much about what happened in business to my family as well.
And I think sometimes even if you want to talk to your friends about it, they might not really understand where you're coming from.
They will feel like, you are in a way gifted. Are you taking for granted?
I so
hear you,
there are different challenges that we are facing.
I think on that, which I find the question is relevant because being an entrepreneur, I think everyone would share a different journey, but yours started with the family and then you ventured out in a way on your own, but still within the family. So let me show you the first question. This is by Wuan Xin.
When did you start your career on becoming an entrepreneur?
What is the timeline, I guess? So that would be her question, Wuan Xin's question.
Well, I think my first business was Scoopoint. Scoopoint was a co-working space. So I started about 2017. I'll tell you the little bit of why first. I was in the States for 7 years. I was studying and working as branding and graphic designer. And then I have to come back for the family business. But I always wanted to chase after something I really love. And I always have this entrepreneur, I guess, spirit inside of me, that I always wanted to own my own business, right? But because of being in fam business, that time I felt like a lot of limitation.
Is there like an obligation, like, oh, you must join the, how
I
would you
think
put
it's
it?
most subtle. It's never been spoken, but you kind of know you have to.
Interesting.
That kind of expectation, but never really tell you right in your face, but you kind of know you kind of have to do it. I always like to create community, right? And I also very passionate in designing and also come up with a design solution. Hence, I started the co-working space. And when I first started, it all started from zero. I did not ask any help from my parents, nobody. Myself and I get some investor. So I started from there. To create a co-working space. I went to study to different places, different country about how co-working works. My focus in my co-working space, we focus a lot more on creative entrepreneur, on the designing or creative, industry. But we feel that there are many creative designer or creative people lacking of the skill set of being an entrepreneur, right? So that's where our brand is slightly different. The whole business model is slightly different. So we create a lot of workshop, mentorship, and as well as a lot of events. So we think that this is something we can actually learn and helpful for each other as well.
Just now you were mentioning you started with Scoopoint, and then maybe you can just continue a little bit.
So after Scoopoint, founded and running quite smoothly. So beginning of 2019, I decided to start Innovatif Plus. I think Scoopoint was a stepping stone. That's where I learned a lot about entrepreneurship. That I learned a lot about different people and how much I love about building the platform and also like-minded people. And from there, I also learned that there are a gap between the next generation and the previous generation.
I see.
So the next generation, I start to see a lot more of them are creative, they are innovative, right? But a bit lacking of entrepreneurship. At the same time, all sort of challenges that I mentioned.
Definitely experience as well. So the previous gen has more experience. But they're creative. So how do you gel this together? Interesting.
But I think Scoopoint started from a passion. Innovative started for a purpose.
Cool. So you started with passion and then you moved to purpose.
Yes.
Wow.
Now is more of combining the purpose and passion together. What I love also about people, right? I'm a people person.
Yes, you
So
are.
I like to create, all these community events. At the same time, with that, my passion in that, plus my purpose on building this community that hopefully we can all make a better impact in the future.
Quay En's next question, you kind of answer it in a way.
What makes you passionate about the things that you are doing now?
Just now you say, oh, you're passionate about the creative industry and anything else that, those are the things that kind of makes you passionate besides creative industry, besides, helping the next gen.
A lot of people say, of course we all have to be passionate on what we do, but I learned that passion itself might not be enough. Somehow passions can change. As you can see, there are people for a few years they are so passionate, but after a while they might change that passion to something else, right? I still feel like passion itself is really not enough for you to go far. I think you definitely need a purpose. You need a vision, you need a purpose that why you're doing this, right? And to go back to your vision and also your purpose is go back to your values. You need to look into yourself to really understand what do you really want and what kind of impact you wish to do, combining your purpose, vision, and your passion in building something to what the purpose.
Since Hui En, you asked this question, right? I know Hui En is very creative. She really likes graphic design. So just nice. So you remember what Mei say? It's not only about passion, it's also about your purpose, your vision, and also value. So do spend some time to think about that before you decided to choose which kind of pathway you want to go to. So I'm going to move on to the next question by Shilling.
Being a woman entrepreneur, how to get our parents to take us seriously?
just
That's a really good question.
I'm gonna do it here, right? Because for this question, I would prefer let's be open and honest about this question.
Yeah. Well, first, being an entrepreneur itself is already tough. Worse is parents that don't even take you seriously. But your friends or sometimes people around you might not even take you seriously, right? Of course, your parents, your main support, or your family members, you also wish that they value what you do. To be honest, both my parents at the very beginning, they never really take me very seriously about what I do, or they don't even understand or encourage. I would say especially my dad, because he rather me being in a family business and not the women out there and running businesses.
It's very normal for, especially in this country, our parents, they would say something like that.
There's a lot of different gaps and understanding, right? Different generation, there are different needs and wants. Things that you choose to do is already something that they never heard before or they never even encountered before. One is already a new thing for them, right? To understand the whole idea or business model. So second, I think you are their children. From what they came from is don't go and start business because in their mind it's risky. They already invest the time and effort and money for you.
And for a certain success.
Yes, for you to reach a certain success or being a professional which have a more stable and better income. That's in their view.
Because that's what happened in that generation.
Exactly. Feel like you are risking it.
So what happened? Maybe you can share how you, in a way, overcome that.
I think it's sometimes you just have to go and try it and prove. Sometimes just do it. Of course, I'm not saying you would do it right away, you're going to be successful.
Yeah,
I failed a few times, but you're going to go out there, they might not support you at the very beginning. I didn't even tell my dad about I started my own business. I just go ahead and did it first. And then of course, in the middle of all this journey, I failed, lost money here and there because there are something I really want to achieve. I keep going towards the goal. And then of course, I make something out of it. People start talk about it. And never even have to tell my dad to support me, but because of people around him that tell him that, do you know that your daughter is doing this, do you know that your daughter is now is da 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 da, and he knows himself That's all. I heard from other people how he was proud of me. Being Asian parents, they're not gonna be
Correct.
like in your face saying,
they won't say I'm proud of you.
not gonna be like, I'm so proud of you, I encouraging you. It's not something that we grew up with, because this is a bit more westernized, which our parents in different generations, that's why I understand. I'm happy that at the end they accept, but it's just that you need time and you need to prove it. You need to make yourself go in. If this is the goal and this is the thing you want to do, you're gonna go in and put in your 110%. Even you fail, you're gonna get back up and do it again. And one day,
Awesome.
they're gonna able to support you. And don't expect them to support you. I must say,
Don't expect them to support you.
Yeah, no. As an individual, we need to understand what we want to do. Achieving it, prove them wrong about it.
In the topic of parents, just want to share one tip as well. Maybe it's just my parents, I find it useful. So sometimes they can't actually tell you straight to the face, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I write to them, and then I make them write back to me, but not write per se. It could be through WhatsApp message or
Text,
something.
yeah.
Text.
Yeah.
And somehow they are more open when it
Yes.
comes to texting.
Yes.
You're gonna ask them. Maybe Shilin, you can try as
Yeah,
well.
sometimes they feel awkward on confronting.
Correct. Especially with their own children. They're
Yes.
quite confronting with the colleagues,
If we're more successful or more career driver than our partner, how to influence to our love partner to also be driver as us, yet make the relationship a good clear priority?
I think this is a more of a women kind of topic. If as a woman you're more career driven, I can kind of tell what you were thinking. If you're more career driven, how do you make the other person, the man or the husband, and have equal opportunity at the same time? So I think because Mei yourself, you have run so many workshops. Why not you pick one sharing that you find very powerful? Perhaps you can share with Shilin.
Being a women entrepreneur, especially in this generation, actually become more and more norm. You can start seeing more women entrepreneur are in the market and now striving, like both of us here, and it's surrounded as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's very hard to find an equal. It's at the end of the day, it's about finding the partner to support what you do, and you support what he does. That's all. Because if you want to really equal, it's impossible to find in this world. But I would say that as long as we support each other and understand, I think each of our situation as an entrepreneur, I'll be so busy. I have meetings. I need to go to office and solve problems and traveling and here and there. He already supporting and understanding my lifestyle, and we see how to accommodate each other to work around it. And same thing with him. If let's say he's not an entrepreneur, it's also okay, right? So he can work his full time, and then he also have his things to do. We also work around things to fit into each other's life. I think at the end you just need to accept who he or she is, and then we kind of work around two different things to combine it. We're not giving up on things that we love. As long as you're really very clear on what you want and very clear on your values, these are things that you're not going to touch. But other than that, let's work on things like compromising or work around it together, so we both can have our more balanced life. It's really about working as a team.
I like when you say there's no equal, right?
Yeah.
I actually agree with that. To me, I find that we just have to compromise. So let's say I have something coming up which is very important, then negotiate with my partner and say, during this time I need to be focused, can you help out with our family? And then the other way around, like when he's busy, then we have to accommodate, we have to come out with time, we have to work together with our team. But the other thing is also definitely communication, and also want to focus on time spent together.
Yes.
I know Mei's love language is quality time, but how do you discuss it out and actually make effort to maybe go on a trip, or maybe share certain things, or maybe go on datings? I heard a lot of couples, what they do is they set a specific night, let's say Thursday night, or
Yes.
every month they have a certain day that they go out and they spend time with each other.
I totally 100% agree on that as well, because I think everybody are so busy, right? So we need to really allocating the time and the effort to be with together. You have to kind of clear it, because we have so many things in hand. Time is so limited, but because we love someone, then we want to specifically get that out so we can spend some time together. And I think when you spend time, for me, it's quality, meaning you don't go and I spend time with you, then I go play my handphone.
Yeah, exactly. Same
Keep
thing with
here,
our
yeah.
parents as well. So when you spend time with your parents, remember to actually spend time with them and not focusing on your phone.
Yes, that quality time is very important, and like you said, able to communicate.
Compromise, yeah,
I think at the end of the day, it's like a teamwork. Either you're a business partner or you're actually romance partner.
Yep.
It's the same thing. One, of course, the
Communication.
context is on business stuff, but this is context on your personal.
Relationship, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still about communication, trust.
Then let's move on to Shilling's second question.
Do you think female entrepreneurs are treated fairly as how the male entrepreneurs are treated?
And I like it when Hui En and Shilling ask tough questions.
Tough question, yes. I definitely think at this point of time, there are still being treated unfairly. Okay?
Wait, hold on. You mean women entrepreneurs?
Yeah, women and male entrepreneur. I want to create a beautiful scenario for you, but right now at this point, we haven't reached the point where we are treated fairly. For example, investment. A lot of investor actually somehow they still would prefer to invest into a male entrepreneur, male startup.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay,
they
I
still
did
have
not
this
know
kind of
this.
mindset
Okay.
that male can run it better, or male has more time committed into this than female. Female, and especially if you have kids or family, then their mindset is that you probably won't have time to be full 100%.
I see.
That's why I say it's not really fair. But of course, there are also investors that are actually like about women entrepreneurs. Again, everyone preference different, but it is still happening nowadays. I heard a friend's story. Both are they're entrepreneur. They are partners actually. Male and female, both co-founded a company. But when they go to a meetings, the customer or the clients they rather talk to the male founder than the female founder. They kind of just ignore the female founder, but talk to the male founder also. I wouldn't say it's a discouragement, but rather I would say take it as encouragement. Right? With that happen, us as a female entrepreneur, we even want to step up the game and tell them that we can actually do it also. I don't want to put it as a who's better in this war kind of game, but rather how we can complement each other. So rather than say male is better or female is better, at the end of the day it's a teamwork. There are things that male might be better or the female might be better, so we just work together, right? Sometimes because of stereotyping, they're always thinking, male will be like this and women is like that. But in now the society, women could be 100% different from what we expected. And same thing with male as well. Things are changing so fast these days. Growing up also differently now.
Yep.
I wouldn't put a stereotype on anyone. Whoever talented, whoever can really do the job, that's the right person we go to. Yeah.
What if we have children, but at the same time we are career driven? So should we actually have children in this era? If yes, why is it? But if not, why is it so?
First, I haven't had my children yet. It doesn't stop me. Even I'm entrepreneur, I'm career driven, I have so much thing to do. It never stopped me in my mind that I don't want children. At the end of the day, it's really about how you can balance it. Okay, let's say you have a partner. How each of us taking turns communicating how to really make the family together, right? Of course, when you have children, there are certain things you might have to let go. So you need to list down what are the most important things or the most priority things in life. There are unnecessary things that you might have to put aside at this point of time in your life that you want to focus on. Let's say there's networking event. Let's say there are other social event that you don't think is that important.
Right.
You have to put aside,
basically prioritize.
exactly, to focus on your kids. Time management is super important. If you can manage, daytime you work, then at the end you have to spend time with your kids. It's like you have to manage your time so well that you can kind of balance everything. It's definitely gonna be some challenges having kids, but at the same time, it is also possible. Yeah, and I of course see amazing women entrepreneur around me that have kids.
And they can manage their
successful women entrepreneur out there, okay? And also not only that, there are also single mom entrepreneur, okay? So there are possibility. And if you see a lot of amazing women.
Love it, possibilities.
Yeah, amazing women like doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, the best mom and the best entrepreneur.
Okay. What do you think are 2 or 3 important skills that you think as an entrepreneur we need that?
First, I would say, the most important skill is really social skill. At the end of the day, no matter like in business or anything, you deal with people. Let's say you're dealing with robots. Also, you have employees. You still deal with people. People will pay you, your customer.
Your client,
It's still
supplier,
your people.
yes.
If you don't have that skill, that's where the difficulty is gonna happen, right? If you're communicating wrongly or offended people or didn't, make it clear enough, misunderstanding would happen, all sort of things would happen, right? And then your employees, your team, so important. If you don't really manage them well or make them like follow you and share the same vision, that's where again, you're gonna have people leaving and all this thing. Again, it's all about people skill and how you're able to manage them also, right? And some have personal issue or your team has drama, able to solve that as well. So I think personally, I would say soft skill like communication and all this thing, very important. Yeah. Second, I would say being innovative is very important.
Is that why you name it innovative class?
I think one of the reasons why I say so,
Right.
because I think being innovative doesn't mean you have come with something new or invent something different, but rather look at a problem and solve it in most creative way, or looking at 1,000 different ways to solve one problem. Because sometimes we are so stuck in one way, and it doesn't work means it doesn't work, but there
There's so
are
many
actually so many ways.
Like what you say, possibilities.
Exactly. So we don't limit ourselves. You keep looking at other solutions, because I always believe one problem, there's 1,000 ways of solving it, but of course you gotta choose the one that actually the most efficient, feel the most suitable for you to go into. I think the last one I would say is determination or persistent. No matter what we do, if you really want to do something, be persistent about it. Meaning, no matter how other people tell you not to, or you cannot, or how many times you fell down, failure is nothing ashamed of, but something you need to learn from it. Get back up and do it again, and be persistent about it. And I think something I would say I learned from all this journey, or also from my dad, is that no matter what, nothing will come to you easily. If you really want something, you need to keep trying, keep doing until you get there. But even you fail, you fall down, it's still okay, because at the end goal, you already understand where your vision are and your purpose are, and that's where you want to go.
So keep trying. So just now, let me just sum it up for the 3 skills: social and communication skills, being innovative, find 1,000 ways to solve it, or open up for possibilities. And the last one is don't give up. As simple as that. Keep going on, keep trying. But of course, I'm not asking you to try with the same way. Right? So you know what is your goal, then keep going and go ahead. Now, in every episode, I like to ask one tricky question from my side. Can you name or describe a scenario where it's either something that you fall very hard, unforgettable, and memorable at the same time, but you learn something from it?
It wasn't really a fall. It was a somewhat achievement, but that also become a fall. So I'm gonna share.
Interesting.
Yeah, what I
achievement and it became a fall.
2019 completed a huge conference. Able to invite about 500 people from all across Asia to be in Penang, 3 days 2 nights, and involved with the governments. Penang State supported. It was really a big event. But it took me a whole year of non-stop of working, travel, getting sponsors, getting people to exhibit. Like, it was only a small team of, I think, about 5 people to pull everything together to make it happen. And yes, I did achieve it. And it was probably one of my most proud achievements. To be honest, I did not know how, because it was
now thinking back, it's like, how did I even do that?
It was a hectic year ever. And I think because of that, I was pushing myself to 100%, and I burned out. That's why I say my fall was right after my achievement. I have no other motivation. That time was so low that I just suddenly don't know what am I supposed to do anymore. The burnout was tough, but at the same time, I was lucky it was pandemic. So since there's nothing really much I can do during that time, I take the chance to just heal, to again step out of it, to relook of what I really want. So I also realized, like, maybe sometime I could be too greedy on want to achieve too many things. And when pandemic happened, so Scoopoint is a physical co-working space, I have to close it down. I know it's tough to let go of your baby, right?
Yeah, you started Scoopoint and you put a lot of effort in it.
Yeah.
And looking at your baby is like, no, I have to leave you.
Yeah. So that was the toughest moment because it's already burnt out and pandemic hit. And then you have to learn to let go of the things that you used to love so much. But of course, being more innovative, like I say, not giving up is then I still continue but using online platform for Scoopoint. It's a totally different business model.
Right.
It's no longer a co-working space. It's just a platform and helping people to work on branding and also work on graphic design, stuff like that. And that was one of the toughest moments I learned. Yes, we all want to achieve a lot of things. And there are sometimes when you achieve certain things, right, there are all these opportunities coming to you. And you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to focus back to what really matters. Because sometimes those other opportunities coming to you really sound so amazing that you want to take them all.
Yeah, but we have limited time.
Yes. So I learned that sometimes you have to say no and let go of things that really doesn't matter. Yes, sounds good, might make some money. But does it matter? Do you want that? You have to go back to yourself, like what's really matter to you? What do you really want to achieve? What's your purpose? The lesson I would learn is to step back sometime and also go back to your main purpose, vision. Like this other additional stuff not matter, don't take it. And take care of yourself. Because you only have oneself yourself, and if you don't really take care of yourself, like from your mind to your body, you cannot go far. You'll collapse, you burn out. And when you burn out, it's hard to get back. Trust me, it took me, pandemic was 2 years, so it took me 2 years to really
after that
come
achievement,
back to, yeah.
There's some advice to our children as well, like, take care of your body. But here, do you have any final advice that you want to tell them, both as teenager, being a teenage girl, and also for other young entrepreneurs, like what other advice would you like to give?
When you're young, don't be afraid to take risks. Go and play. When you get older, you start thinking too many things that you stop playing. You stop taking too much risks. Be young. Go out there, see the world, play, take risks, try. Because you never try, you never know. After you try, then only you figure out what you really, really want. And then that's where you go on and do your 100% and focus at it.
But on a side note, when I just want to make sure you're clear about what Mei said. When she said take risks, I'm not trying to ask you to do something dangerous, okay?
Yeah.
You need to take care of your safety. Okay?
Yeah, of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, you still need to take care of your health.
Yeah.
What we meant, like, taking risks is that
try new things.
Try new things, right? Of course, with calculated risks, think about the consequences, and then if you can take it, then go ahead and do it.
Almost coming to the end of our show, so maybe I can get Mei to share anything you want to share for our audience here, or maybe your favorite quote.
I think my favorite quote is actually from Bruce Lee. Be like water. Yeah.
I know a lot of people use that quote actually.
But I would say especially
like
it applies for women entrepreneurs just because I feel like women actually are able to be like water 100%. We can be put in the shape of anything and we can still be so flexible and soft. It's okay to be a woman, to be feminine. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you want to go out there and be tough and you need to be like a man. No, you can be feminine, you can be women and just like water. But when you come together and be a strong wave, you hit hard and things will break. Even rock were able to shape by wave. Imagine that. We can be like tough as wave when water can be soft and hard all at the same time. So that's why I think as a woman, we need to learn to embrace it instead of trying to run away from it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mei, for being here, and thank you to all of you. You asked amazing questions. Honestly, I find those questions amazing. Right? Yeah. So, just final thing that you want to tell Hui En or Shiling about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are very tricky and very difficult question, but at the same time, even for your age to ask such a question, you guys are very well prepared.
Okay, thank you so much. much, Mei.
Thank
And
you.
that's
Thank
the
you
end
so
of
much.
our show. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our show if you find it useful for you. And do invite more of your friends who are interested in starting a business to join Meet the One Show. And that's all from us. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.